What's up guys, welcome back to another Destiny video. Now in this video I want to talk about the new raid exotic pulse rifle, the Outbreak Prime. For this video I'm mainly going to focus on the weapon's PvP capabilities, so if you want to know about how to get it, what the quest is like, and how it performs in PvE, then there are other videos out there. Datto has a pretty good video, Holtzman has a pretty good video, so check those out if you want to know more about how this weapon performs in PvE. Let's focus on the weapon's perks first. It has two unique exotic perks. The first makes it so targets that take repeated hits from this weapon spawn SIVA nanites that attack other enemies. You won't really notice this one in PvE very much, because once you fire your 3 bursts, the target is probably already dead anyway, and it's not like the nanites do a ton of damage when there's so little of them. Then there's its second exotic perk, which makes it so precision kills spawn a SIVA nanite swarm. Now, this can be pretty noticeable. The perk itself has a 10-second cooldown on it, so you can't just spam the swarms. This is probably to keep the game from getting frame rate lag, because if you have swarms everywhere, it's probably going to knock the frame rate down a bit. So it's best to avoid that. Either way, even if you could spam them, that would be a little bit OP, so I'm glad this is how the gun ended up working out. Now, this gun also has Outlaw on it, so there's some pretty good synergy there with its second exotic perk. Now, as for the swarm itself, it acts a lot like a buffed up gunslinger swarm grenade. It covers a big area with nanites, and when somebody gets close, it'll track them pretty aggressively, like really intense wolfpack round tracking there. Each individual nanite does 4 damage, and depending on the target's armor, the whole swarm could take off most of their shield. So let's say you get into a 1v2. If you proc this perk, it could help to even the odds out, but you aren't really going to see it help you too often. When it does, it's pretty useful though. There's also the weapon's ballistics and its middle column perks. The only ballistic that I feel you should really be using is smart drift control, because this weapon's base stability is pretty low for its fire rate. It is in the same archetype as Hacksaw, which is a plus because it has a good time to kill, unlike the other two slower archetypes which don't really have that great of a time to kill, because all the pulse rifle archetypes they kill in 3 bursts, so you definitely want to have the 2 higher fire rate ones. Those are really the only 2 viable ones, so I'm glad they gave this weapon a viable archetype for pulse rifles. Now, it is also a negative that it's in the Hacksaw archetype because of the low base stability. Higher fire rate archetypes need higher stability, so in the middle column running fitted stock will also help boost that stability, but then your range will suffer a bit. So let me go ahead and put it like this. If you run smart drift control and fitted stock, then make sure you keep to the close and closer mid-range when engaging, or else you'll lose to Hacksaws, PDXs, and Grasps of Malok, because they can have better range and better stability. These weapons just have a much easier time in a gunfight against this particular weapon. Now if you run hand-loaded, then you can get into slightly farther engagements, but the same rules pretty much apply. So it's your choice, but I recommend the full-on stability. Now it goes without saying, but don't try to fight scouts or snipers with this weapon. Scouts you'll lose to basically every time, and snipers, they'll be too far away for you to really consistently land bullets on them, so you won't be doing a ton of damage, and you won't really be able to consistently stagger them because a lot of your bullets will be ghosting because you're outside of the intended range. So don't fight them. You'll probably lose if you do. Just warning you. Now, taking all of that into account, this weapon is viable in pubs and regular PvP, like 6v6 game modes and stuff like that, but not so much in higher end PvP like trials or sweaty matches or even 3v3 games. Other higher end weapons will just give this weapon a pretty hard time and it'll put you at a disadvantage. This isn't a bad weapon by any means. It's a very cool and fun weapon that has unique perks that really do what they're supposed to pretty well. It just isn't something you can be very competitive with. Without a doubt, this gun is much better in PvE than it is in PvP, and if you are going to use it in PvP, then make sure to use it on maps with shorter engagements like Last Exit, Skyline, and others like that. There are plenty of maps like this in Destiny, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem to find them. Despite all that though, I really do love this weapon. Its perks are really cool and it's easily my favorite looking exotic in the game right now. I love the whole red and black Siva look, the Warmind look all blended together, and the fact that this weapon has just like its own internal cloud of like Siva swarms in it is just really, really cool. It also has a very nice sound, and I love the red of the bullets. Definitely stands out from other exotic weapons really, really well. Weapons like these are really fun for normal games where I just want to go ahead and like relax and play. So I'm really glad they made a pretty PvE focused weapon also be reasonably viable in PvP, since that's where my heart and soul reside. So I'm glad I'm able to use one of my new favorite exotic weapons in PvP as well. Now, that's pretty much it, guys. I want to thank you all for watching. I very much appreciate it, and I'm going to see you guys later. Bye!